The TikTok art community has had its fair share of controversies throughout the years, from numerous accusations of artists tracing someone else's drawing and claiming it's theirs, to artists being called out for using AI to make art. There has always been an endless list of call-out posts leading from one situation to the next. But now a very specific type of artist has taken the spotlight and has become one that is now referred to as problematic and not even considered worthy enough to be referred to as artists by the rest of TikTok. Today we're talking about eraser artists. So it appears the TikTok art community has a problem with what seems to be an ongoing trend of eraser artists who have apparently taken over TikTok and are making art people refer to as cringe and problematic. Now before you shine those sparkling 32 food munchers and start shaking your head uncontrollably wondering what TikTok has done again, let's get the obvious itchy question out of the way. What is an eraser artist? TikTok's trend of eraser artists is a form of drawing and/or painting where the so-called artist starts by making large blobs of shape that represent the face and/or figure of the person, place, or thing they happen to be casually drawing, and then gradually carve out the features of the face by using what people have alleged to be the eraser tool. Now, mostly whenever eraser artists show their drawing process, they usually imply that all their art is made by using regular and/or custom brushes in Procreate, but this has ended up leading to multiple artists scrutinizing each of their drawings because something never seems to add up every time they post a drawing process video, from skipping steps and more or less forgetting to show certain parts of the painting to showing drawing techniques that apparently don't translate well every time other young artists try to replicate these same techniques in their own drawings. An artist who had tried following these tutorials left a comment saying these tutorials sent them back years because they were trying to be like them so hard because they thought the drawings were actually real. And this was made in response to a video an artist made where they were exposing how people used eraser art to deceive people into thinking they were actually drawing. Here's the video for more context. Really living in a time where even speed paints can't be trusted anymore. I actually thought those were real and had been drawn that way without AI. But then someone asked an interesting question about using this eraser art technique, but only as a way of studying instead of faking art. Wouldn't that work as valid practice to learn colors and rendering? Of course not by using AI and not posting it as my work, but just for practicing. Well, in theory, that actually sounds like a pretty good idea. And if you casually think about it, it does seem like you could actually gain some knowledge by practicing this way, since basically what you're doing is just picking colors from the photo or drawing or painting that you're studying and then using that to redraw it in your own way. But this ultimately creates a huge problem, especially for beginners. It ruins your perception of understanding color theory and how colors work when you eventually want to start making your own drawings without picking colors from another artist or from pictures, which will eventually leave you relying on color picking to make your own art. Of course, you can pick colors when you're studying a few times just to see where the colors sit on the color palette, but in the long run, it's better to just train your eye into seeing the colors and then trying to pick them yourself just from looking at the reference photo or the painting you're studying. Now, I'm not saying picking colors is entirely bad, but you'll be a much better artist if you just train yourself to be able to pick colors directly. Another artist made a video trying out the eraser artist technique and immediately called it out for looking terrible compared to when you just made the drawing using any other art style. And after watching the video myself, I could definitely see where they were coming from, because this it just didn't look pleasing at all. Now, I'm not even going to lie, the process does look unflattering. What is even going on here? Why do the eyes look like that? I mean, the final drawing doesn't look half as bad, but the steps it took to get here were just totally creepy looking. Another thing I noticed is this artist was actually mimicking the steps the alleged eraser artists used to make their images, when in actuality these steps were mostly fake and pretense. I'm like 98% sure they're called that because they're just erasing already finished pieces. You did it legitimately and it turned out really pretty though. Eraser artists aren't artists, they use AI art and a technique that makes it look like they're drawing it. It's because they have the photo of the said thing under a layer and erase it lightly to make it look like they're doing something. A lot of the other comments also noticed this and were pointing it out to the artists, but also commending them for actually taking in the time to draw for themselves. But a few comments were making fun of them, saying they didn't know how to draw faces regardless and were better off learning how to draw using the planes of the face instead of trying to replicate the eraser artist technique. But one of the main reasons why the TikTok art community hates eraser artists is because aside from their art looking very convincing and insanely good, their art tutorials seem to gain a lot of views and attract a large number of young beginner artists all trying to learn how to improve their art. So they try to copy these tutorials thinking they would make them better. People have noticed that these tutorials for the most part don't teach anything at all and don't even explain their process for the artists trying to use them to learn. An artist on TikTok posted a video showing when an eraser artist makes a tutorial and when a regular artist makes a tutorial, and the video is just so... An eraser artist is basically someone who is a fraud. They fake their speed paints and art process by manipulating the viewer's knowledge that painting is a mix of blocking and blending colors. The idea isn't wrong because that's how people paint, but what they do is take a picture that looks like a painting, then they go over the image by adding layers of solid colors on top of the edited picture, and then use the eraser tool to erase the solid colors they have blocked out above the original piece. This gives the illusion that the person is blending and shading and putting the colors down the traditional way, but all they're doing is erasing the layer above and exposing the layer underneath. I was initially about to give a wholesome shout out to the person who left this comment, but then I looked at their username and just immediately changed my mind about saying it out loud. Shout out to them anyway. This person perfectly explained why the art community on TikTok hated eraser artists so much. When you watch their videos, it looks like they're making actual art and finishing a painting, but if you pay close attention to what they're drawing, it starts to look questionable. Aside from eraser artists just giving false hope to beginners, Art TikTok also called out eraser artists because apparently their tutorials don't seem to be structured properly and presented in a way for the beginners to learn the fundamentals and understand what it is they are trying to draw or paint. They skip basic steps like shapes and form in their tutorials and jump straight to painting with color when beginner artists practically don't even know where to start and are still literally stuck at the sketching stage. While some people were still confused, wondering what an eraser artist was and were asking genuine questions about them, many other people in the comments all seemed to share similar sentiments toward eraser artists and were annoyed with how they made their tutorials. People also started name dropping a number of artists they suspected were making fake art and were accusing them of being eraser artists, but a name I kept on seeing over and over and over again in every single comment section of videos calling out eraser artists was an artist that goes by the name Yelanast or Yelanast. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce their name.
Just so that we're all very much aware, that I know a lot of us are very much aware that a lot of this is traced AI art. But what really confuses me is that this person has the skill despite tracing the AI art, which, like, you could see in the little details. Like, I don't know, maybe she's just that good at faking it that you, like, I don't know. I don't know. Either I'm falling for it or not, but, like, just seeing it from the outside perspective and how that she does still do little details and that there is a process behind it, she has arguably the skill to make her own art, which I don't understand. Why aren't you doing that? Like, the talent is there. Again, I don't know AI art enough to make this claim, but like the talent, from my perspective, is there to make your own art. So I don't understand, why do you have to trace over this to prove a point? Like, there's the traditional art on her page that, to me, it looks real, but I don't know anymore. Like, it looks fucking phenomenal. Like, but with the AI art, it's so clear that it is fake. So why don't you just make your own? You have the power to do so. It's just like, you're selling all these courses and these brushes when you're pulling stuff like that. Just make your own art. Just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yelanast has gotten so many accusations on TikTok and has been in controversy after controversy, with tons of videos calling them out for faking their process videos and using AI in their drawing videos instead of actually doing any drawing at all. Yelanast, a very, very popular artist with a whopping 2 million followers on TikTok and over 100 million likes across their videos, has been posting drawings, speed paints, and art tutorials on their TikTok accounts for the longest time ever, gaining millions and millions of views on their videos and pulling in tons of comments seemingly praising Yelanast and commenting them for how good their drawings are. But apparently, it will seem Yelanast has been faking their drawing process the entire time and has been using AI generated images to make their so-called art, allegedly, according to TikTok. If you look closely in the video, you can see Yelanast drawing and painting the nose in their image, but if we go up to the corner, we can see they're not using the brush tool. Instead, they're clearly using the eraser tool. So how are they drawing? It seems like they're erasing. Quite suspicious. The video goes on, and even while the art progresses, they are still using the eraser tool, but somehow the colors are changing and they are seemingly adding more color to the painting and even drawing more lines and adding extra detail. What could possibly be happening here? I think she's an eraser artist that puts the colors under it, but also I know she's actually faking at the same time. Sometimes I can't even tell if her videos are AI or not. When she makes these kinds of videos, I am 100% sure that she is not drawing, and the drawings are AI or stolen from other artists. When she draws in the traditional way, on the other hand, it might be her drawing. I assume she can draw, but she still decides to pretend. Dang, she's good. It took me 5 minutes to realize she's just erasing random paints to make it look like drawing. A lot of people in the comments all seem disappointed finding out their favorite artist had been faking making art the entire time and wasn't really the artist they had believed them to be for the longest time ever, and even sold them the dream of becoming great artists themselves with their fake art tutorials. There are so many videos calling Yelanast out and accusing them of being a fake artist and or faking their art process. Even fellow YouTube art community Yappa Rain made a video talking about Yelanast, which also raised a lot of questions about their art process and made more people scrutinize their drawing videos and accuse them of cheating. Now, looking at any of Yelanast's pencil drawing videos, it will seem apparent that they do indeed have a lot of skill and are good artists that know how to draw with a pencil and make very good art. Their initial starting sketch is good, they use guidelines like every other artist, and the shading, proportions and everything else in the drawing all look very impressive. So far from what we can tell, this drawing looks real and there wasn't any use of AI or faking their process in this video. But when we compare this to any of their other digital art videos,
count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8, guilty. Count 9, guilty.
from comments accusing them of using AI to comments saying Yelanast was skipping steps and all of a sudden finishing the drawing. This time though, the colors on their brush tip seem to change along with the painting, and they also seem to be staying on the brush tool consistently throughout the process video. Could this have been created using AI? Possibly. After all the accusations Yelanast has been receiving, people started putting their drawings through AI detection programs, and every single time the test fails and points that the drawing supposedly made by Yelanast was possibly made using AI, or that AI was used in the making of the drawing one way or another. Another one of Yelanast's videos that was quite controversial and had people calling them out on TikTok was when they tried the popular art trend of drawing without knowing the colors. In the video, Yelanast pulls up a palette and then turns the image into grayscale before proceeding to make a very impressive painting, which raised everyone's suspicion because there's no way they could have guessed the colors correctly according to the comments on TikTok. Every single video Yelanast posts on TikTok, the entire comment section is filled with people telling them to go live and draw so people can see their art process and so they can prove to everyone accusing them of using AI that their drawing process is actually real. And so far, Yelanast has never gone live and has never acknowledged or spoken about any of the call out videos, despite having so many videos tagging them talking about their controversy. Now personally, I do think Yelanast is a good artist just based off of their pencil drawing and traditional drawing skills. It's clear they know what they're doing and have a good grasp of the fundamentals of art. Is there a possibility of them faking their digital painting videos and using AI? Definitely, maybe. All the evidence indeed points to Yelanast either painting over an AI generated image and also erasing blocks of color to reveal the AI art underneath, or just using AI generated images for their work entirely. But there's no way we can be 100% sure on that. Another artist whose drawings look similar to Yelanast is Dan Luvisi, and he was making drawings like this as far back as 2011-2012, way before AI art was even a thing. And their styles are really similar. So far everything is all speculations at this point, and while people keep accusing Yelanast for being the biggest fake artist on TikTok and the queen of all eraser artists, Yelanast is still posting videos sharing their art and paying no attention to all the negative comments that are piling up under their videos. But one day, one way or another, we will indeed find out if Yelanast has been faking their videos the entire time or they are actually good at art. But till then, I guess we'll never really know for sure. Well, it looks like you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, share the video with a friend that also suspects Yelanast of faking their videos, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. With all that being said, I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye!